Hi there. So it is Thursday morning. If you're watching this in real time, probably not real time because it's still pretty early in the day, although I'm a few minutes later than usual. But recording this on a Thursday just before July 4th weekend, Independence Day. And so hopefully you're all going to have a wonderful holiday weekend and do all the things you need to do or like to do. And in this time of COVID, we'll probably be barbecuing with fewer people and all of that. But I just want to talk about balance a little bit today. Balance. If you've been working hard and you've had your nose to the grindstone for the first 6 months of this year, this is one of those holidays where you sit back and relax if you can. And you just spend time with family, friends, doing the things you like to do, especially if you're lucky enough to have a 3-day weekend, as many of us are. For a lot of us, this is the last work day. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are a holiday, with Saturday being the actual 4th of July. If you still got things to do in your business and you haven't had a chance to, or your job or whatever, there's a chance to catch up on some of that, but keep it balanced. Don't work through a 3-day weekend. Don't make it all go that way. Have a little time to just catch up and relax doing the things you really enjoy. Even in a 3-day weekend, you can find balance. We talked a little bit earlier this week about your goals and where you are for the year. It's the halfway point in the calendar year, and it's a good time to catch up on your goals. I did that work earlier, and I use the Full Focus Planner by Michael Hyatt, just what I choose to use. And actually, I don't use anything all the time. What I find with time management and planning and goal setting and everything, if I get too locked into one product or one ritual, I can get just, for lack of a better word, bored with it, and I don't really spend the time doing the things that I need to do in it. So I change it up. So a few years ago, I changed it up to this. I kind of got a little lazy with it, so I just brought it back out, and I'm going through it as though it's something brand new. If that doesn't stick over the next year, I'll switch to something else, because you have to have full interest and engagement in whatever your planning process is. And I've gone through multiple over the years. Franklin Day Planner was probably the one I spent the most time with, and the one that I can talk in depth about. But a lot of those things carry over to this particular planner. And whatever you're using, use. And if you're not using it, switch to something else you're going to use. Most important thing about planning and managing your priorities is that you do it. And so whatever tool you have, you may have the greatest tool in the world. If you're not willing to use it, get something else, because you have to be using something. Now, some people can just use a legal pad and get it done. I've gone through periods where, within this planner, there is something that I've been teaching long before I ever saw it in this planner, but it's what's my top 3 things to do today? What's my top 5 things to do today? And for years, I would just jot that on a sticky note and stick that on my monitor. And it's the same thing I do with gratitude. So very often, if you looked at me 2 years ago, you would see there were 2 sticky notes on my monitors. One was the top things I was grateful for. The other was the things that if I got nothing else done today, those were the things that I had to get done. And every time I looked at my monitor, I saw what was left on those must-dos. And so whatever you're going to use to track, whether it be a sticky note, a legal pad, a fancy planner, whatever it is, use it. And if you're not going to use it, switch to something else. But make sure you're doing some things to put the priorities in life. And even with your 3-day weekend coming up, if you have one, make sure you're prioritizing anything you need to catch up on, but most important, catch up on some rest, catch up on some things that are deeply meaningful for you outside of your work environment. This is that time for balancing life out a little bit. And we get these times throughout the year so that we can have that balance. And it's important. And, recognize the foundations of our country and all the things that go into that, and in the recognition of Independence Day, celebrate a little bit. And if you need to catch up on something, you got a few extra hours to get that done. So have a great, great day. If you're celebrating the holiday weekend, have a great, great holiday weekend. And we'll talk with you next week. Take care.